Hi everyone. So in this video, I know I was saying this video, but I'll just talk. So my friend sent me this video last night about this guy, Chris Williamson, who has a podcast, big social media following. He interviews people, great guy. Totally recommend following him. And the video talks about him dealing with these health challenges, same ones as I do, which you never would have thought he dealt with. And he talks about how he's so used to, wanting to like work harder, work through it, push through it, and it's like he can't do it, and it's like he's doing it, and it's like it reminded me so much of, me and for the last 12, 13 years, just so often being like, okay, well, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do this. But then it's like still feeling this way. It's like, what's going on? So it's like this constant confliction in my body. Like there's two different things going on. And, I had this rough night last night. And, I'm probably going to have to, unfortunately, move out of my place because I think the mole numbers came back really high. And it's hard for me to want that because it's like I'm used to being uncomfortable and used to like, oh, I can make it work, but it's like, no, 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 you can't do that anymore. But coming back to this video, it's like, we work, a very similar personality, working so hard to heal, and to be honest with you guys, like, I made these videos, but underneath, I have not felt great. I mean, I'm in a much better place than I was maybe a year ago or 6 months ago, but the reality is I still don't feel like most people feel, walking around the day. I'm not saying people don't deal with stuff. And, you know, it's almost like I talked about, like it's a life goal of mine that I will kind of get through this. And, you feel like however much, coming back to the video of Chris, however much you push hard or push harder, you think it's like automatically, oh, I am going to, that's what's going to get me better. But the reality is like, I've worked so fucking hard to do this. And it's like, and for me, everything comes back to my health. I can, everything else will happen if I have that. And he said the same thing, but it's like the harder you work, it's almost like the worse you get sometimes. And it's almost like there's a bigger force. I'm not saying there's not an answer to this or there's healing or a stability, but it's almost like these things are bigger than us sometimes as well. But my point in saying that is, in all this, is that even if you're struggling like I've struggled, and trust me, like it gets to me. It really gets to me. I've just learned to move through it all or adapt to it, or I like or whatever, and thinking like, oh yeah, it's normal, but it's not normal. And then it's like I process it, and I was like, oh, okay. But the reality is like, there's always an answer to things, and sometimes part of that is not even necessarily working harder; it's letting go, and that's a hard thing, for me because I have a personality thinking that there's always going to be an answer. But this whole experience, if it's not taught me, it's like, especially through intense brain fog for so long, where I had no idea what was going on, that there is something bigger that has to be guiding us. So, but it's hard, because I'm a really positive person. I mean, even after a shitty night last night, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can stay here, but no, I can't. And it's like, this is what would happen for years. Oh, I can get through the day, and I get through the day, I get through the day, but I'm not really getting through the day in a way that's normal. And the biggest thing, though, is that I can catch it quicker now, and I can get the answers quicker, and you move through it faster. But, it is hard. And if I want to be honest with myself, the way I felt even this week, even when I went away, was not how people should feel, you know. And I get back and I'm like, oh, okay, and I just lay there feeling bad, and it's like there's nothing I can do, but there are things I can do. And we think that these people who are super successful are invincible, but they're not. But they eventually get to a point, and you can overcome it. They do overcome it, and I can, and you can as well. But at the end of the day, your health is the most important thing. And if you have your health, you have everything. What I wouldn't give to feel 100% like magic, like, oh, that's how I should feel all the time, and like not feel this anymore, and like really know it. Like there's a long time I was like, how would I know? But the reality is I will know. And I thought I wouldn't know because I was so in this unawareness all the time, like way more, and like it's like the constant awareness is actually part of the healing. So, and there's always an answer, and there's always a bigger picture. We get through it. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Oh, I wanted that one more thing. Sorry. So my friend came to visit me, and she told me how inspiring I am, how I'm like this and that and everything. And it's interesting because to me, I don't feel always that inspiring because of how I feel on the inside. Like it doesn't matter because it's like again, like how I feel is all that matters. And at the end of the day, your health is everything. And if you have your health, you have no fucking excuses to get things done. And it can affect the best of us. And we can get through it. But at the end of, like I said, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. But I'm glad I inspired my friend. And I'm sure I inspire a lot of people. And that's why I make these videos. But um, I'll trade me making a bunch of money one month to feel really good because all that money's going to come and everything's going to come anyways. So, all right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share.